Okay, staff, we have a new way to test the pool chemicals. It's actually a very old way, but we are going back to it because it's much more simplistic than the way we are currently doing it. It's not as precise and exact, but it'll give us a nice little baseline to test out our chlorine levels and our pH levels. So our expectation is that you are testing the water every 2 to 4 hours, especially upon arrival at the aquatic center, and it's a good idea to check it when you leave. It's also a great idea to go back to the filter room and open up the door to the chlorine pump and make sure that there's enough pulsar chlorine briquettes in the pulsar system to last through the night and over the weekend. It's really bad when we let it run all the way dry and then the chlorine gets all out of whack, because then we have to manually feed, and that's always a challenge. So let's talk about how we test the pool chemicals. There are 2 testing tubes, and it doesn't really matter which one you use. They have a 10 milliliter and a 5 milliliter mark, which is kind of hard to see on here, but 5 is halfway and 10 is up at the top. So if you go out to the water and fill up both of them all the way up, that's all you need to do. So let's go out there and fill them up, and I'm going to put one down to 10 and one down to 5. And it's going to be loud out here because Mandy is jamming to her music. So I'm going to grab some water and then come back in. It's a good idea to rinse them a couple times before you get your testing sample, just to make sure there's no leftover residue from the previous testing, okay? So go ahead and fill it up, and then I take one of them and I get it to right at 10 milliliters, and then I take the other one and I get it down to 5 milliliters. There we go. All right. Go back to the office where it's a little quieter. And you can do this on the pool deck, it'll be easier for you. So I'll go ahead and stick it in there. Now we have one at 10 and one at 5. And the 5 one is for chlorine, and the chlorine is the green tabs. And here's the tabs. The easiest way to do it is to place it on top of the tube and press down. Get the tab in there, and you have a cap. Go ahead and throw the cap on there, like that, and you can swish it up a couple times until the cap dissolves. And once you get good at this, you can eyeball it, but that's about a 1.0 or a 1.5, which is where we want the chlorine to be at. Our slider tube is currently in the mail, so it'll be here soon, but the chlorine one is right here. It's on a scale of 0.5 all the way up to 10, so you can lay this down next to it and you can get a gauge of where it's at. You can hold it up to light if you want. You can put it on a white background, might not be a bad idea. And you can tell my camera isn't focusing very well, but it is at about 1.0 to 1.5. And you'll be able to see it easier in person, okay? Now I'm gonna put that one aside, and I'm gonna take the red for pH, and it says phenol on it. And I'm gonna take one of those tabs, and I'm gonna pop it into the taller test tube that has 10 milliliters in it. All right, I'm gonna put my other cap on there. I'm gonna shake that one up. I can tell by looking at this, it's a little low. It looks at about 7.1 to me. And this slider tab, it's a little different. It's on a scale of 6.8 all the way up to 8.2. And when I look at it, I can tell it's a little low. It's probably at about 7.1, maybe even 7.0, which is a little low. So that's something we would want to write down in the book and keep our eye on. So here's everything in your black test container. I will put this on the pool deck while your tabs are in there. All you need to do with these 2 full ones is pour them in the gutter and rinse them out and stick them back into this black case. and then make sure you mark down your findings in the 3-ring binder on the pool deck. Again, please try to test the pool every 2 to 4 hours, especially upon arrival and when you leave, and it's always a good idea to check the current levels of the pulsar briquettes. That's all I got. Talk to you guys later.